Welcome to Salcedo Paranormal. It is Sunday, July 17th, 2022, and tonight I'll be sharing true paranormal stories from the web. As always, you can find all the episodes of the show, along with links to social media, ways to donate, and ways to contact me uh, at the podcast page, and that is salcedoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions for shows, or if you have stories of paranormal experiences, whether they're yours or from others that you trust. Happy to either read them or share them, read them on the show, or have you join me on the show to talk about them. And now I do have one announcement. Wednesday will be the 200th episode of the show. And so I will be doing a call-in show here on my Discord server. So I definitely recommend everyone join that. If you want to be a part of that, it'll be one person at a time. And I'll put in the more of the details on that in the Discord channel that night. And so that should be fun. I'm thinking we'll talk about UFOs at least to start with, and see where the conversation goes from there. So that should be a fun night. Excuse me. And looking forward to that. So everyone, definitely, if you have questions or ideas of things you would like to bring up, definitely plan on being here. That's it. Wednesday, which will be let's see here. That'd be, if I can get this thing open, I can tell you. That will be on the 27th. No, I'm sorry, 20th. Oh, it's 20th. Okay. You can do calendars. They're they have numbers, and I can read those. It's just all the lines of the numbers and letters that can be confusing. But anyway, so yeah, looking forward to that. Hope to see as many people as possible there. I understand it's a Wednesday night and 8 p.m. Eastern, so I know not everyone will be able to be here, but we'll be happy to talk with you all, whoever is able to make it. So, excuse me. Um, I will. I think with that, I can get to the stories here. I think I'll get some water before I start here as well. So, one moment. Okay. So I just found these stories yesterday. Well, actually, it was this morning. It was this morning before I went to bed. So, um, but so here we go. This one says, "We just moved into a new house recently. Everything is mostly great, except sometimes I think I see someone standing there, and when I actually look, there's nothing, not even a shadow where I saw one. Well, the other morning, I woke up and laid in bed on my phone like I usually do. When my partner woke up, he got out of bed and went upstairs, except I only saw him get up and thought he went across the basement where our room is. When he hadn't come back after a moment, I looked away from my phone and looked over to where I thought I'd heard him go. He, in quotation marks, was standing over by the wall with his back to me, rubbing his arms like he was cold and bouncing on his feet. He was looking up at the ceiling like he was looking for the vent to close. I asked him what he was doing, but he didn't answer. So I went back to my phone. I didn't look back up again until I heard footsteps on the stairs, and I expected to look up to see him going upstairs, but he was actually coming down, and I must have looked really confused because he said what? So I asked him when he'd gone upstairs. He said he'd been up there for a while because he let the dog out and used the bathroom and then waited to let the dog back in. Then I just felt weird, on top of being confused. I asked him what he'd been doing over at the wall earlier, and he had no idea what I was talking about. So I told him what had happened, and he thought it was weird too. Nothing else has happened since, though. So there's a story. I don't know what to make of that one, except that it is odd. It sounds like the person thought that um, they they were seeing their partner, and I wonder if it was um, I wonder if it was some version of him or if it was some other being apparently that looked like him, whether intentionally or not. I don't know. There wasn't a lot of detail as to what the person looked like, so in that way, it's kind of hard to say. If it looked just like the person, I almost wonder if but see that they didn't say that the person, their partner was asleep upstairs, so it doesn't seem like it would be an out of body experience. Um, maybe maybe they were thinking of being back down there, and somehow that projected down there in the form of their shape. Uh, I wonder though. It said that the way they were describing their actions sounds almost like this figure was waiting. Maybe they weren't looking for something. Maybe they were waiting for something. Maybe it was their partner waiting for the dogs. Although looking up is kind of odd. But I don't know. That's a strange one right there. So could have been some kind of doppelganger. That's what the title on the entry on the website actually suggested. But so I don't know. But neat story. I'm glad nothing else happened for the people there. That's good. Maybe that's a sign that it was some kind of a astral projection by location, some kind of thought form. I don't know, but hopefully that just means it was the partner and everything is basically okay. So, moving on to the second story. This one says, it was many years ago. I went with a few other people late at night. Oh, and here's one I wanted to put in something before I started, and I forgot. This is about people going into abandoned buildings. And just for the record, I would not recommend doing that because there may be reasons they're abandoned. They may be falling apart. There may be ways for people to get stuck in them. Um, it's just you never know if it's how safe it is. Uh, and if you're just looking for spirits and like that, that can be that you could run into problems with the building itself while you're trying to find evidence of other things. So just a warning there. I would never recommend um, sneaking or breaking into any property without go entering any property without permission. So um, just always like to put that out there. But this one says it was many years ago. I went with a few other people late at night, and we snuck into this abandoned building that used to be some sort of psychiatric place for kids. I don't remember exactly what it was. We went in and just walked around, looking at everything that had been left behind. On our way out, I saw this figure out of the corner of my eye. I turned to look, and I saw a little girl. She had short hair was wearing some kind of a dress and some shoes. I couldn't see the face clearly, but it was obvious that it was a little girl. I looked at my friend who had been walking beside me and asked, "Did you see that?" And she said, "The little girl?" We both saw her, so I know it wasn't just my eyes playing tricks on me. That was the first time I'm sure I saw a ghost. So, that's an interesting one. I wonder what that was. If that was a some some spirit there, still there, some for some reason, hopefully not stuck there. Or someone just passing through, or some kind of again. I know I say this a lot, but it's always possible. Although, if it was a time anomaly, I don't know why the face wouldn't be clear. But then again, we don't really know how things would appear when they're not in the same um, situation or same coordinates and or um, just the same circumstances as the people viewing it. So, but still a neat sighting. Glad that nothing really happened other than the sighting. And those kind of places, they do seem to have activity in them in a lot of cases. And I just wonder how much of that is the energy left behind by all the people that were there, obviously going through a lot, um, and how much is people bringing in new energy and how all that mixes together. Uh, that's it's one of those things where I wish there was a way to figure out what's going on there and if there was really anyone there and how to help if possible. But that's always difficult, knowing what exactly is going on and then what to do about it, if there is anything to do about it. Excuse me. So I'll move on to the third story here. And let's see here. Okay. This one says, so I'm very used to paranormal happenings going on around me. I'm fully convinced my house is haunted. Recently, however, I have been seeing fast moving, inky figures out of the corners of my eye. It first started at a camp about a week ago. I was sitting in a room with my friends when a girl opened the door and she entered the room. Just outside the door, I could have sworn I saw a lady walk past. However, when I tried to get a look at her, no one was there. I even stood up and looked out the door. Still no one. The entire room was empty of people. The only thing in the room was sleeping mats and sleeping bags. I've seen things like this 10 to 15 more times since. Sounds like shadow figures of some kind. Maybe they encountered them at the camp and either they're just more aware of it now or the other option is that maybe they're just for whatever reason being followed. Hopefully nothing major happens. That doesn't sound like anything else has happened, so that's good. Um, but yeah, camps can be odd. I have had a couple experiences in summer camps with the paranormal going back to when I was a kid, and they 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 were one was really I still don't know what to make of it because it was, and I think I've told this story before, but it was late at night, and of course I was laying there awake. Even as a kid, I was a night owl, and everyone else apparently had fallen asleep because no one else was talking, and I was just laying there, and I was trying to drift off. I don't know if I really had started yet or not. I don't feel like I had, but but I started hearing several people a little ways away. It sounded like they were coming from the direction, or they were in the direction of the nearest fire pit, and it sounded like there was a combination of shouting and chanting, and there were several voices. I didn't recognize any of them, but and they were all in time with each other. There was no overlap. There was no it was like they knew what they were doing. And it was just really the weirdest part was that I also did not recognize any of the voices. And it was in the middle of the night, and it seemed like it was loud to me, and I couldn't figure out why no one else was waking up. And um, and then it went on for a minute or so, or 2 minutes, and I was hoping that someone would wake up and ask what was going on. And but no one did. And then it stopped, and everything was quiet the rest of the night. And I really wonder what that was. I feel like that would have been not the smartest thing for a bunch of the counselors to do, unless they were trying to pull a prank. But then, why didn't anyone else hear it? Um, so yeah, I don't know. There's definitely energy out there in nature, and I wonder if I had some kind of a, I don't know, some kind of encounter or got some kind of a transmission maybe from one or more beings out there that night. So, um, but yeah, that was so that was a neat story in a way. But so let's see here. So chat here says my summer camp's guardian was a Sasquatch. You could leave him letters and everything. They had a box. Interesting. Um, yeah, I thought that was a neat story as well. But so I'll go on to the next one here. Now this one, I believe it is from someone that is from Italy. And so the writing is not the best, but the story is really amazing, so I decided to share it anyway. So I may stumble a little bit with it, but I think it's worth it. This one says Italy. I was it was 2013. I was 14, waiting for my mom to come pick me up at my grandma's house. It was about 10 p.m. and it was winter. I live in an important and populated city, but I don't know why there wasn't anyone around at the moment. My grandma was looking out the window. "Hey, come here, look," she said to me, laughing. I looked out the open window and I saw, in the sky, a giant UFO, flying saucer, same as the ones you see in the movies. It was up in the sky, but so big, like the size of the building in front of my grandma's, but it was far, far away. So I kind of thought it was something big as a flying city. My grandma was laughing and said they came to say hello, while I was freaking out. I was so shocked by her reaction. She was amused, a woman in her 80s, not scared at all. It was so big, shaped as you can imagine, a sort of dome on the top, and a row of lights in a semicircle on the bottom, which lit up the clouds in front of it. I had a smartphone. I thought I could do a photo, but I was so scared. I thought, do I want this responsibility? In my mind, there were thoughts like, this is too much. What if something happens to me if I take a picture? What if they get angry? It would have been something so clear. How could my life change? So I didn't. And actually, if it would happen now that I am 23, I would not do it anyway. Anyway, I told her, scared, to close the window and not look at it anymore. I called my mom. 15 minutes after she picked me up, in the sky, there was nothing in nothing else. but the clouds were so weird. I don't know how to explain this. They were like low, so visible and distinct, one from each other, and so little. My mom believed me, saying that in the past she saw something similar. My stepfather, a skeptic, made fun of me. I spoke with my friends living in the same area. No one saw what me and my grandma saw. My grandma isn't here anymore, so I am the only one alive that saw that thing, and I don't have evidence of it. Some people believe me, others don't. And actually, it's okay for me because this scared me and still scares me. So there we go. Um, I don't even know what to say to that. That is a flying city. If that size is anywhere near accurate, that really is something huge. Um, and again, you hear this in other encounters too. People have different reactions to seeing the same, at least what seems to be the same thing. Um, so I don't know. That's really an amazing story. It's sad that the writer was frightened so much by it. But really amazing. At least they know that they were not the only one to see it, if nothing else. So, but yeah, amazing story there, I thought. And I have a couple more here, and then that'll be it. So let me get to the next one. Let's see here. This is a short one, but the it brings up a question, and I'll get to that after the story. This one says, on December 31st, 2017, my dad passed after a long fight with his heart. This also just so happened to be my mother's birthday. After he passed, my mother told my sister and I about a dream she had about our dad the night before that had creeped her out. She stated that before she woke up from the dream, he told her that he would see her in 2 years. I kind of just forgot about it after that, until today when I realized the eerie date of her death, December 5th, 2019. So, what is that about? Did the spirit of this writer's father come back to visit the mother, and deliver that message knowing what was going to happen? And how could they know? Was it them? I guess I had more than one question. But anyway, it's one of those short stories that brings up a lot of thoughts, I think, in a way. And of course, I don't know. Don't know what to make of that one. But just makes you wonder how much we know after we do pass. And but usually it seems like in most cases you don't get a lot of concrete info, especially about the future. In a lot of cases, it seems like anyway, about future events. But you did in this case. So just had to share that that because of the questions that brought up in my mind. So, and I have one last story here, and then we'll be done. This one says, last night when I was already in bed, I had my little night light on and was just getting out of bed to go to the bathroom. In front of my bed is my wardrobe, and next to my wardrobe, I have a big-ish mirror. I looked in the mirror for a split second and looked away. And as I looked away, it registered in my brain that I just saw a person in my mirror. It kind of looked like it was blending in with the background. No clear, distinct features or anything, but one thing that stuck with me is that she, in quotation marks, was wearing a pink puffy dress. Not a vibrant pink, but sort of a coral pink color. But it was blending in with the darker background of my room. But once it registered in my brain that I just saw that and looked back to the mirror, it wasn't there anymore. This isn't the first time something paranormal has happened to me, but this is the first time it was something that I could actually see properly. So I guess my question is, can anyone think of anything this might have been? So that's the end of that story. This is something that comes up, it will come up on a fairly regular basis if you look into it. These stories of mirrors and weird things and figures being seen in mirrors. And sounds like the writer of this story saw an image of someone, possibly. Um, and it's hard to say who that was or what they were doing there. Um, but really amazing how so many stories happen with mirrors. So, but yeah, possibly gateways, possibly just windows. Yeah. Um, just reacting to a comment in the chat here. Yeah, gateways definitely. I think it seems like they can be multiple things. Gateways, windows, um, things like that. Seems like both are possible. Uh, and yeah, the question is how exactly, and why does every mirror not seem to have activity surrounding it? So, but I'm really glad I was able to come back and do this episode here tonight. Um, Time dilation, yeah, that's the thing. We don't know where that figure was or when they were or anything like that. So, but last Sunday I had technical difficulties and uh, and a major headache, so I couldn't do this show last Sunday. So this was really nice to get back to this. I really like finding these stories and sharing them. So this was fun. But that'll do it for tonight. Thank you all for listening. And again, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, uh, live call-in show where I will. All you have to do is in the uh, in the chat channel here where we do the streams. Well, along with the audio streams, you will you'll just put in in the text that you want to talk, and I will give you permission to unmute, and then we'll go from there. So we'll probably go for about an hour. There's another show that I like to listen to that night. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think that should be fun. So, thank you all for being here. I see you all in the listening here, and I will talk to you all hopefully, literally through voice chat on Wednesday on the 200th episode of Salcedo Paranormal. Take care, everyone.